Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. Today we're looking at All-Star Squadron #1. This is written by Roy Thomas and drawn by Rich Buckler. Look at this classic cover. The team organizing photographs to make a new super team is just classic. Little continuity notes. Captain Triumph, who's over here, he's not even part of this world yet. He's Quality Comics, which was Earth S or something like that. I don't know. But look at this. We got the original Dr. Midnight, the original Hawkman, and the original Atom in one of the worst, best costumes of all time. Just look how horrible that costume is. I absolutely love it. And here's the original Alan Scott Green Lantern, you know, the father of Obsidian, the beloved first openly gay character that got retconned away to make room to make Alan Scott the first. It's just so stupid. They had a character that everybody loved, but that's neither here nor there. Focus. So let's look at the indicia over here. Okay, 1981. Geez, I was going to say 1983. It's a good thing I didn't say anything. But forgive me, I got this cold that will not go away. So we got Roy Thomas, writer, Rich Buckler, penciler, co-creators, Jeremiah Ordway. Jerry Ordway is the inker and embellisher, which means he's probably doing a little bit more than just average inking. John Costanza, letterer, Carl Gafford, colorist, and Len Wein, the editor. Legends, Marvel, all comic books, Legends, and all this. So here we got Hawkman with this notoriously difficult mask to draw. Where is he? He's flying from New York to Washington, D.C. And he's going into this apartment over here, and what does he do? He gets attacked by Plastic Man. Typical superhero shenanigans. And Plastic Man, keep in mind, the original Plastic Man was an FBI undercover, I think he originally was a criminal that became an FBI agent, and he's a detective, which makes me wonder if Elongated Man was like a spoof or homage or ripoff of Plastic Man. So they're investigating these crimes, and you know they're recollecting what happened. This is continuing from Justice League America, so they're talking about all these other events that happened. Eel O'Brien's, they are in Dr. Midnight's house. For those of you, not Dr. Midnight, Wesley Dodds Sandman's house in New York. For those of you who do not know what's going on, and Plastic Man was on the verge of figuring out that Wesley Dodds was the Sandman, and there's the worst costume. That's just awesome. They figure out all these clues about what's happening. Again, this was continued from the Justice League, and as such, you know, they're solving crimes. So now he's flying from New York to Washington, D.C. Now he's flying to D.C. I said the wrong thing. And they're getting attacked by these B guys. And these B guys, if you read the dialogue, they're confused. This is the King Bee with his drones, and they're time traveling. So as they get knocked unconscious, they disappear. And, you know, again, this is 1940. This is the day before Pearl Harbor. And they're from 1947 or 1943. Yeah, they're from 1947. So they're traveling back years in the past. Here's FDR. And here's the Mighty Magpies. And as much as I like Batgirl, she has fruit pies. So she's trying to get me to eat food spawned by Lord Beelzebub himself, fruit pies. So bully on you. So now we got the Shining Knight, and he, a time-displaced hero. He just came into like I'm going to say the modern world, because this is modern when this comic is supposed to come out. It's supposed to be 1941, from the Arthurian times, and he's part of the Shining Soldiers of Victory. They're time-displaced heroes. So we got the original Vigilante, the Crimson Avenger, the Star Spangled Kid, the Shining Knight, and the original Green Arrow. They got lost in time and space. So he's landing on this island that didn't exist yesterday. And there's Danielle Riley, the sister of the original Firebrand. And she's a volcanologist, and that she's studying this island, like I said, that did not exist yesterday. And it's awfully dry for an island that didn't exist. They should be walking around in mud. So he's using his super magic sword. They find a cave, and they get attacked by Solomon Grundy. Solomon Grundy is just a character that I've always liked since the Super Friends. You know, I don't know what it is, but he's like this, you know, undead plant-based Hulk monstrosity. He's like a monster supervillain. What's not to love? So now they're fighting, and he just can't deal with Solomon Grundy. And then she's just a normal human, and she gets slapped into Oblivion, and then the poor horsey. Now they're glowing as Wotan is a foe of the Spectre. He's got like magic abilities. And then Per Degaton. Per Degaton is a character that I've always liked because I started collecting this comic because I collected the Infinity Incorporated, a comic that I've always liked. And because of the ties for Infinity Incorporated, I went and I bought back issues of this. So I did not get this when this came out. I got this when it became evident that I was a super fan of the Infinity Incorporated, the original series. And Per Degaton is a time-traveling Nazi. What's not to love for a villain? Just you know, he's a major level villain. You know, a time-traveling Nazi. That is just absolutely dangerous. So, of course, he's the one that summoned the King Bee out of time to fight. And then we got lifesavers over here. Enough with the lifesavers. And the Shining, so all clues are indicating that the villains, Per Degaton is organizing like a troop of villains that normally don't work together into like a fighting team. And the Shining Knight is being held hostage. Now we got regular soldiers. They're going around the island over here. And what's going on? Per Degaton is, he sees a day in the future, so he knows the Japanese are going to attack. So he's attacking first, which, I don't know, kind of messes up with history a little bit too much if you ask me. And then, so that now these soldiers are setting the alarms, and all these superheroes I love this. They're in their costumes watching a football game. We got Dr. Midnight, the Atom, and they're cheering and yelling when they get a summons to go to Washington. So they actually get a call from FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt himself, and they're answering the summons. I mean, what your superheroes, the president calls. So this freakazoid with the red eyes and turns out to be Robot Man, the original Robot Man, and they're all going. So he's going to act like a superpowered taxi, and he's running them to Washington, D.C. This is the original Liberty Bell and Johnny Quick. So they're going to use their magic powers and run, and all the superheroes are getting the summons. There's Liberty Bell. I always liked Liberty Bell. I don't know. It's just a cool... First off, I'm a sucker for patriotic-themed superheroes. So Liberty Bell is right up my alley. But I don't know. There's just something about... She's like a black canary. She's got martial art abilities, and then at the same time, she could... use a sonic ability. It's pretty cool. And her husband is Johnny Quick. I don't know if they were married at this point, but they do end up getting married. So all the superheroes are gathering, and we got Franklin Delano Roosevelt is asking them all to form an all-star squadron. Why? Because he got advanced intelligence that there's going to be an attack. Now, they're talking about the attack of Per Degaton, but it just so happens that tomorrow, in comic book time, is the Pearl Harbor. So this is the original lineup of the All-Star Squadron, and it just grows and grows and grows. And excuse me, here comes Per Degaton launching his attack. And because he saw in time that tomorrow the Japanese will attack, he's using dummy Zero planes to attack. I love this series. There's something about superheroes in World War II that just goes together like peanut butter and chocolate. I love Roy Thomas. Roy Thomas is like the original super fan, if you ask me. He's the original fanboy who got a job writing comics. And I said this a million times, he's a walking encyclopedia of all things comic books. He knows, I will say he probably knows more about the minutiae of comic books than any other person alive. The problem is, I think sometimes he lets that get in the way of a good story. Like, he once told an entire Invaders story explaining why Namor originally had black shorts and now he has green shorts. Does it matter? He changed his shorts. You know, over the course of 40 years living under the water, his shorts rotted out and he got new shorts. You know, whatever. And this, he's using time travel to explain like gaps in continuity to people who didn't even pick it up. You know, I appreciate the effort. You know, I'm a stickler for continuity myself, so it's kind of funny that I'm busting Roy Thomas's chops for sticking to continuity. But there comes to be a point where if the continuity, like, if explaining the continuity is not the purpose of the story. This purpose of the story is to use continuity to tell stories, not to write stories to explain continuity. How is that? Is that an elegant way to explain? You tell me. But anyway, I don't want to bust on Roy Thomas. I think he's a living legend. I've always loved the guy, but you could ease up a little bit on the crossing the T's, dotting the I's, and coming from a absolute continuity lunatic myself, that's saying a lot. But thanks a lot. I'm very affectionate to this series. I'm very affectionate towards the invaders over at Marvel, because there's just something about World War II and superheroes that goes really, really well together. I mean, the Wonder Woman movie was she set in World War I, that worked. So maybe there's something about like big old world wars and superheroes. I don't know. What do you guys think? All right, but now I'm rambling, and I've learned to stop when I start to ramble. So okay. Thanks a lot, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video. Bye-bye.